Hello everybody, welcome back to another video here on my channel with yours truly, with the name displayed right there. So this is going to be a review of the 2022 WWE Royal Rumble. Now, I don't really do a whole lot of reviews of wrestling because of the fact, well, I was actually going to do this on YouTube. I was going to do it live, on there, but I decided to do it on this thing. I use StreamYard. I just don't really use it that often because of the fact I just, been busy with working. I'm doing a new position at work. In case anybody doesn't know that, I am doing seafood now. In case anybody, does not know, because I was doing parcel, I was helping people with their groceries and putting cards back and doing a few other things, but I just figured it was time for a change. And the store manager is glad, I stepped up and did that. I'm still learning about seafood. There's a few more things I still have to learn, but it's getting there. It just takes time. But we're not here to talk about my job. We're here to talk about the Royal Rumble. So let's get into this. Everybody is welcome to, say their reviews about this and, say what they thought. I'm sure there'll be a lot of negative reviews and whatever, but I will give my honest opinion about it and say what I truly thought of it. So let's get into this. So this was held, of course, last night at the Dome at America's Center in St. Louis, Missouri. And by the way, if my friend sees this, he attended the event last night, and I am glad he did. I hope he enjoyed it very well. His name is Brandon, and I've known him for a pretty good while. Now, he's a very, very good friend of mine, and I really hope that he enjoyed the show last night. All right. So if you see this, Brandon, I'm glad that you saw that, and I'm really glad you got to do that. I don't really go to wrestling events that much anymore because of the fact I'm not the biggest fan of it anymore. I used to be, but I stopped watching wrestling probably around 2008 or so, something like that. I just didn't bother watching anymore. Probably also when they changed it from TV 14 to PG. That's another thing, that's why I just don't watch that anymore. So anyway, so for this event, we had Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, who did the men's Royal Rumble matchup, and I thought they did the opening matchup, which was Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. You had Jimmy Smith from Raw, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton, and they also did the women's Royal Rumble. You had the Spanish commentators Carlos Cabrera and Marcelo Rodriguez, the ring announcers Mike Rowe from Raw and Samantha Irvin from SmackDown. Mike Rowe did the women's Royal Rumble, and Samantha Irvin did the men's Royal Rumble, excuse me. And the referees, and not a lot of these names I know, but the only one is Charles Robinson, who's been around a while. He did a few, or I think just one of the matchups, and I know there is a female referee. She did the Edge and Beth Phoenix, Miz and Maurice matchup. And the pre-show panel, you had Caleb Braxton, Kevin Patrick, Peter Rosenberg, Booker T, Jerry Lawler, and Sonya Deville. Of course, when they did the Royal Rumble, I'm always used to Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler doing it, or Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler, or Vince McMahon, Jerry the King Lawler, and Jim Ross. So, anyway, let's get into our opening. So we had our opening matchup, which was Seth freaking Rollins against Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. So you had Roman Reigns introduced first, which is unusual because it's the challenger introduced first, then the champion. So in this case, they introduced Roman first, and of course, boos and cheers. I mean, the guy has held the belt for 500 some days or whatever, which is crazy. I mean, I like Roman Reigns. I mean, but I am not the biggest fan of him. I remember, in the day with the Shield and stuff, he was doing, all that stuff with them. I mean, but speaking of the Shield, Seth Rollins makes his introduction, or he gets introduced, and they play the theme song, the Shield theme song, and you hear Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. And the crowd absolutely freaking out right away, and I was like, oh my god, it's the Shield. But of course, no Dean Ambrose or John Moxley, his name is, I think. So all you had was just Seth Rollins coming through the crowd and everybody, pretty excited about that. And Seth Rollins, smiling and, playing like little things, and Roman Reigns. And this is actually a pretty good matchup. It was, but it ended on a wrong note. And the reason was it ended in disqualification. Roman Reigns had this like move on Seth Rollins and wouldn't let go of him. And referee broke it at 5. And Roman Reigns winds up getting disqualified. Rollins wins the matchup, but the title did not change hands on disqualification. And of course, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, were banned from ringside, so they could not interfere in this matchup. So again, good opening matchup, but could have ended a little better. Then we had the 30 women Royal Rumble matchup. 30 woman Royal Rumble for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania 38. Now, in this one, we had a good amount of surprise entrants. The first one was Sasha Banks. I don't think she ever won the Royal Rumble. Then you had Melina. If you don't remember Melina was in the tag team of Joey Mercury and Johnny Nitro. They call themselves M and M. Mercury, Nitro, Melina. Yep, M and M. And I didn't really care for that tag team, but when she made her return, I was just like, wow. And she looked really good, but she only lasted 53 seconds in the Rumble and got eliminated. I'm like, that was ridiculous. That was really ridiculous. I had to start off. Then you had Tamina at number 3. You had Kelly Kelly. Kelly Kelly, I didn't really care for that much. I mean, I did like her in wrestling, but wasn't really somebody I chose like to watch all the time. And she's pretty, but I just really didn't care to watch her a lot. And she lasted 1:05 in the Rumble. Some of these, did not last a while. And you had Aliyah, whatever way you want to pronounce it. I'm pronouncing Aliyah. You had Liv Morgan, Queen Zelina, Bianca Belair. I'm not sure if that's the one who won it in 2000. Was it 20 or 19? One of them years. Again, I just don't know. I thought she did. Yeah, she won the 2021 Royal Rumble by eliminating Rhea Ripley. Okay. Then you had Dana Brooke, Michelle McCool, who, of course, is a legend or whatever way you want to say, but not a. I'm guessing she's retired. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I heard the theme music and I was like, oh, who is that? Who is that? I mean, I just couldn't think of their names right away. And yeah, it was good to see her. I mean, she lasted 20 minutes in there. And you had Sonya Deville, who they have it on here as unaffiliated, the way it has on here, because it has Raw, SmackDown. Then you have HOF, which is Hall of Fame. Then you had Natalia. She lasted 36 minutes in it. You had Cameron. You had Naomi, Carmella, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair. Then you had Ivory at number 18. And this was hilarious. Ivory was dressed in her right to censor attire. If you remember that horrible tag team, and I say horrible because they were horrible. They were not underrated. They were overrated. And I'm glad that they are not a tag team anymore or a faction or whatever. But they were terrible. They were headlined by Steven Richards, and you had Bull Buchanan, the Good Father, and Val Venus, and then Ivory. And it was absolutely ridiculous, and they always had that annoying music playing every time. And of course, they had the music playing, and I was like, what the heck? And it was Ivory, and I'm like, oh my God. And she has a microphone in her hand, and she's talking like what Steven Richards would do. And she like comes into the Rumble and looks at the people and just says, like calling them little girls and all that stuff, whatever. So Rhea Ripley, picks her up while she's still talking, puts her on the apron and pats her on the head. And she's like, don't you touch me, and knocks her off, and she just gets eliminated. I'm like, okay. I mean, that was funny, but yep. Then you had Brie Bella, the Bella twins, lasted 19 minutes. You had Mickie James, who apparently is on Impact Wrestling, from what it says here, and she is the Impact Knockouts World Champion right now, as it is. So it's good to see her. Then you had Alicia Fox, Nikki Ash, ASH, whatever the hell it is. I mean, I don't really care for her, and I don't like her stupid gimmick. You had Summer Rae, Nikki Bella, another Hall of Famer. You had Sarah Logan. Then you had Lita at 26, and of course, Lita looks really, really good. I mean, she still looks hot, for her age, and she did really well in the Rumble. I mean, she lasted 10 minutes. Then you had Mighty Molly, who she had her cape on, like that Mighty Molly gimmick that she did with Crash Holly, and no, not Crash Holly, with the Hurricane, that wrestler, when he did that. Then at 28, you had a surprise entrance, Ronda Rousey. Spoiler alert in case anybody has not seen it, but yes, number 28, Ronda Rousey. And right away, you hear the music, Bad Reputation by Joan Jett, and the crowd going absolutely insane. And that was a surprise. I mean, that really was. Then you had Shotzi at 29 and Shayna whatever this name is, Shayna Baszler, whatever, at number 30. So, long story short, it got down to two people, Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. Lita was still in it, like at the final four or so, but I knew she wasn't going to win because they usually make it be, somebody on the roster. If it's a legend, that'd be pretty good, but instead, it wound up being Ronda Rousey. Again, spoiler in case anybody, well, all these are spoilers in case anybody has not seen the Royal Rumble yet. So it was actually a very good Royal Rumble. I'm glad Charlotte Flair did not win it. I mean, I do like Charlotte Flair, but I'm glad that it was Ronda Rousey. I like her as well, too. Yeah, it was a very good Women's Royal Rumble. Now we get the next one. That is the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch, the man, or if you still call her that, defending her title against Doudrop. I don't even know this person that much. I mean, for one, not big on her, but this matchup was a okay one. I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to it because I was kind of blown away by the Women's Royal Rumble matchup and the return of Ronda Rousey. So this matchup was okay, but Becky Lynch retains, and we'll just move on. Now the next one, the WWE Championship matchup. Bobby Lashley with MVP taking on the WWE Champion with Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. So this little promo they show of both wrestlers, like how they started and all that stuff, and it was pretty much, a little thing like to build it up. Bobby Lashley makes his entrance, and then here comes Brock Lesnar. I mean, greeted mostly to a lot of cheers. I mean, probably some boos as well, because I know people aren't really big on him sometimes, and the fact of him being champion. So, as the announcer makes the announcement for Bobby Lashley, introduces him, but then Paul Heyman interrupts and takes the microphone and introduces Brock Lesnar like everybody wants to, like how he does it. So, introduce himself. My name is Paul Heyman, and introduces Brock Lesnar, saying, the WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. And everybody like getting all pumped up for that and stuff. So, yeah, now the matchup. Now this got off to a good start, but in the end, it wound up taking a turn, which unfortunately was bad. Roman Reigns interferes in the matchup and spears Brock Lesnar and goes over to Paul Heyman and takes the WWE Championship belt from Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman pretty much turns heel on Lesnar, gives the belt to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns takes the belt, hits it over Lesnar's head, and leaves the ring with Paul Heyman by his side. It was pretty much a setup. A freaking setup as Paul Heyman turns on Lesnar, and yeah, Bobby Lashley covers him 1, 2, 3 and is the new WWE champion. Unfreaking believable. I mean, I personally did not like this matchup. That ended the wrong way. I think, for one, Lesnar still should have been champion. I mean, unfortunately, yes, this is one of the shortest title reigns in his career because Bobby Lashley said he was going to make it, like a short title run for him, and it pretty much was. And also, this event was on a Saturday, and a lot of WWE pay-per-views are on Sunday, so somehow this one was last night on Saturday. Yep. But, yeah, again, this matchup was getting off to a good start, but it could have been a little bit better. It really could have. I'm just very surprised, with the outcome, with what happened. I just thought Lesnar would retain, and whoever. I just thought whoever I just thought that Lesnar would retain and fight whoever at WrestleMania, but there you go. So let's move on from that. Now we'll go to the next one. The mixed tag team matchup, which I'm kind of surprised, this one being like all the way down here. So you had Edge and Beth Phoenix against The Miz and Maurice. And I thought for sure that Edge is going to do the Brood entrance once again with Beth Phoenix, but he did not. I mean, so instead he uses his theme song, and they make their entrance together, and same with The Miz and Maurice when they made theirs. But I think we knew that these two were going to win the matchup, Edge and Beth Phoenix. I mean, it was a decent matchup, between these two. I mean, not really anything spectacular, but it was just a matchup that was, not bad. And now that brings us to our last one, the 30-man Royal Rumble for the championship at WrestleMania 38. So let's get into all these men here. So the crazy thing about this is we only had, just one surprise entrant. The others were like, as it has on here, as unaffiliated, not on Raw or SmackDown or wherever. I guess they appear on both. And they had none on here that were Hall of Famers. None. Well, Shane McMahon, who was a surprise entrant in the Rumble, he will probably be in the Hall of Fame. And some of these people in here, a good amount of them probably will be in the Hall of Fame. Well, some of them actually. So you had your first entrant, which was AJ Styles, and he lasted 29 minutes in there, but he got eliminated by Madcap Moss. This freaking tag team, Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin, whatever he calls himself now, who I think is very overrated. Baron Corbin, they used to call him. And you had Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion, I think, because the way the belt is and stuff, they have changed it, and I do not like it. I don't understand why they had to change the Intercontinental title again. Yeah, but okay. Then you had Austin Theory at number 3, Robert Roode, Ridge Holland, and of course, a good amount of these people I don't know because I don't watch Raw every Monday and I don't watch SmackDown every Friday. I just don't really, have an interest in it anymore. I'm sure, millions of people would agree. You had, I said, Ridge Holland, number 5, Montez Ford, I think of the Street Profits, which I think is a pretty good tag team at number 6. Damian Priest at number 7. Sami Zayn at number 8. Johnny Knoxville, yes, from Jackass at, where was I at? I lost the stuff. Where is it? All right, I had something. There we go. Johnny Knoxville at number 9. He lasted a minute and 26, and I mean, yes, the guy from Jackass, and it was actually pretty funny. They played the Jackass music, and he had Wee Man with him, a couple of the people from the movie, from Jackass. I mean, that was pretty cool. And he gets eliminated, of course, by Sami Zayn. And it was kind of like a Jackass thing, like if Johnny Knoxville was said, "I'm Johnny Knoxville, and I'm gonna be entering the 2022 Royal Rumble and get the crap kicked out of me." But Yeah, he did pretty much. He came in the Rumble, and that was pretty much it. I mean, it looked like he took he got in like Sami Zayn's face. They started beating each other up. Then after that, AJ Styles came in. He threw a punch at AJ, and they clotheslined him. And Sami Zayn again eliminating him. There you go. You had Angelo Dawkins. You had Almost. He had to be eliminated by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. He eliminated 3, and from what I heard, this guy's like 7'3" or something. I don't really know. I mean, he doesn't look well. It says 7'3". I'm like, okay. So I don't know if AJ Styles will be turning face or something, or Almost will, because of the fact that these two, are together. But I don't know. Then you had Ricochet. You had Chad Gable. Dominic Mysterio, the son of Rey Mysterio. You had Happy Corbin. That name. You had Dolph Ziggler. And from what I heard, that was Dolph Ziggler's like 12th Royal Rumble or something like that. And he's like one behind Kane or something for the most Royal Rumble appearances at 13, or unless he tied Kane or something. I don't know. It probably says on here when he entered it on here. I'm just seeing if it says if that was his 12th or 13th Royal Rumble. Let's see. It's not really yeah, it doesn't really say on here, but it just okay. So yeah, he lasted 20 minutes in a Rumble, and he did not eliminate anybody. Okay. Then you had Sheamus at number 17. You had Rick Boogs at 18. Madcap Moss at 19. Matt Riddle, whatever, at number 20. Yeah, Drew McIntyre at number 21, who won the Royal Rumble 2 years ago in 2020, which was a good one. Yeah, Kevin Owens at 22. Some people, thought he was going to win the Royal Rumble, but he did not. He was in there for 11 minutes. Rey Mysterio, he came in. Would have been nice, if him and his son, were in there, but they were not, because Dominic already got eliminated. Then you had Kofi Kingston, and they tried to do that thing, with him, when he gets eliminated, and trying to like make him stay in the Royal Rumble, but he was pushed off the thing or whatever, and his feet did hit the ground, but then they look at it and say, wait a minute, did his feet really hit the ground? And I looked at him, and they saw it too, and they're like, yep, his feet hit the ground. They tried to make it like, maybe his feet didn't hit the ground. Then you had Otis at 25, Big E at 26. You had Bad Bunny, which I heard is a Latin music artist or something like that. Yeah, I don't really know who he is that well, but he is one that was in the Rumble. And you had Shane McMahon, a surprise entrant at number 28, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, but not who I thought was going to be in it. I mean, there was only just one surprise entrant. Like I said, maybe at number 30, number 29, the hometown hero or hometown favorite, Randy Orton. And at number 30, Brock Lesnar. Some people, I think, weren't too thrilled about that. I mean, I was thinking The Undertaker, just for the fun of it, but it was not. So instead, Lesnar comes in and he's all mad, and he winds up eliminating like a good amount of people. He wound up like eliminating like 5 men, like Riddle, Orton, um, Lesnar, Bad Bunny, and then winds up eliminating Drew McIntyre. And Brock Lesnar wins the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble. And there you are. So, yeah, I mean, I know it wasn't like a great Royal Rumble to some people, but remember, I don't, some people were saying that this was the worst Royal Rumble. Well, that's your opinion, but I don't think it was the worst. I mean, it wasn't a great Royal Rumble. Well, the men's, was an all right one. The women's one was a good one. A lot of people were saying the women's Royal Rumble was better, which I do agree. But I'm glad that Brock Lesnar won. It's the second time he's won it. Last time he won it was 2003. And I just wish there could have been a little bit more surprise entrance. It would have been nice to see a couple of like All Famers or whoever, but it still, was a pretty good Royal Rumble. I mean, right guy won, which is Lesnar. So now the question is who he'll face at WrestleMania. Could it be Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, which would make sense to me, but the WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley, I don't know who he'll face. I mean, maybe Drew McIntyre, maybe Kevin Owens, one of them. I don't really know. Maybe Randy Orton. That would be a pretty good matchup, Bobby Lashley and Randy Orton. But I don't know. I think personally it'll be Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Probably a no disqualification matchup or something like that. I don't really know. And yeah. But like I said again, it was a again, the men's Royal Rumble was a good one, but the women's I think was a little bit better than that. Yeah, I mean, there just could have been another surprise entrance. It could have been at least 3, in the men's Royal Rumble, but yeah. So out of this matchup or this whole pay-per-view, I mean, I didn't really give like a rating, for the whole matchups. Well, I think I'll do that, just, All right, so the opening matchup, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, I give this a 3.5 out of 5. I wouldn't give it more than that if it ended a little bit better, but it was, good. It was good to see it was good to see Seth Rollins with the Shield attire and trying to like do the little fist pound with Roman Reigns. I mean, but yeah. So again, 3.5 out of 5 for that. Ronda Rousey winning the Royal Rumble. I have to give this one a 4 out of 5 because this was a very, very good Royal Rumble. Very surprised that Ronda Rousey won it. Thought it was going to be Charlotte Flair or somebody else. And good to see Lita, as always. Then you had Becky Lynch defeating Doudrop for the Raw Women's Championship. I give this one a 2 out of 5. I mean, not really a matchup. It was like all that great. Bobby Lashley winning the WWE Championship over Brock Lesnar. I give this a 1.5 out of 5. Yeah, because really, that was a horrible WWE Championship matchup. It definitely shouldn't have been like that. It was only 10 minutes, of course, too. But again, that wasn't really a great one. So again, 1.5 out of 5. You had Edge and Beth Phoenix defeating The Miz and Maurice. I give this one a 2.5 out of 5. I mean, it wasn't like a spectacular matchup, to talk about, but it was a good one. And the men's Royal Rumble is what I'm trying to say. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And Brock Lesnar winning the Royal Rumble. I give this one a 3 out of 5. Again, not as good as the women's Royal Rumble, but glad that Lesnar won it. Glad it wasn't somebody like Happy Corbin or anybody else, or some people said Otis is going to win. Not Otis. Oh, my goodness. Almost. Some people said, he was going to win it. Maybe Kevin Owens, but I'm glad it was glad it was Brock Lesnar. Okay. And out of the whole event, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Some people may disagree with that and say it should be a 2.5 out of 5. Or, again, it wasn't the worst Royal Rumble. That's just people, just saying, Lesnar, came in, did all that stuff. But again, the right guy won it. He did. But, yep. So there you go. I mean, it was a pretty good Royal Rumble. That's just pretty much what I'm going to say. All right. I'm now going to wrap this up. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. So thanks again for watching this review of the 2022 Royal Rumble. And as always, you can like this video if you do with a thumbs up. You can comment, no negative stuff, and subscribe, and hit the bell as well. It's not a bad thing, a good thing, and you all take care. And thanks again for watching this video.